Hello students, welcome to this session. I have just solved this JEE Main Test 71 and the physics part, and from the analysis that I can make out, 5 questions can be regarded as tough. 1 or 2 are actually really tough. 14 were medium, 6 were easy, so easy questions were less, so this paper won't be that easy for everyone, and plus it has some very good questions. Plus question number 23 has a flaw, the data is corrupted. For 24 I suppose there are 2 possible answers. Question is right, but the 2 possible answers are coming in the subjective one. So this was today's paper. What I feel, if you score 50 plus, you are fine enough in physics and you're planning for the IIT advanced, then you should get 80 plus even in this paper, or even let's say I be much lenient this time, let's say 75 will also suffice for you to be getting a good rank in IIT for this particular. Now let's begin. A hydrogen atom is in the ground state. Then to get 6 lines in the emission spectrum, the wavelength of incident radiation should be. So it's assuming there are many atoms. So when they are excited to a higher level, they all return. So number of lines that we see when some returns from level n is n minus 1 by 2, that should be 6. So which yields me n should be equals to 4. So that means the incident radiation should excite it from 1 to 4. So that energy or the wavelength, I can write it as R 1 upon 1 square minus 1 upon 4 square, which comes out as 1.1 into 10 to the power 7 into this comes out as 15 by 16, sorry, 1 by 4 square, that is 16, so 15 by 16. So lambda would be 16 upon 15 into 1.1 into 10 to the power minus 7 meters. So if I do this, this could be 1600 upon, I can write it as 16.5 nanometer. So going by the option, it would be lesser than what I can say. It would be 1600 upon 15.5, so that is nanometer. So in angstrom, it would be roughly less than 100 nanometer, 1000 angstrom. So go for 975 angstrom, that is the closest one that I can get. Next one. A ball is dropped from a height h on a floor. The coefficient of restitution be e, the total distance covered by the ball before it comes to the rest. So it's a common question. Let's see. It starts from height h. So just before this, the velocity I can say would be, let's say, v naught, that would be equal to root 2 gh, and because of coefficient of restitution, the final the velocity after jumping would be v naught, and now it will go to some other height, let's say that would be h1. It again returns with the same speed. It again goes up now with e times of this velocity, that is e square times v naught, and again goes, let's say that would be h2, and this goes on and on and on till it becomes 0. So basically we'll have an infinite gp here. So total distance would be h plus 2h1 plus 2h2 plus so on. So what we have, h plus 2h1. What is h1? h1 would be e square v naught square by 2g. This would be e to the power 4 v naught square by 2g, and so on we will get. So what we can have, h plus 2, I can take v naught square by 2g as common, it is e square, or e square also as common, let's take it. So it would be 1 plus e square plus, it would be an infinite gp. And v naught square, v naught square is 2gh, so it is basically h plus 2 e square h, and if I take the infinite gp, 1 upon 1 minus a, it would be like this. So taking LCM, it would be h minus h e square plus 2 e square h upon 1 minus e square. So it comes out as 1 plus e square upon 1 minus e square times h. So go for okay, b1 not c1, be careful, 1 plus is above, so it would be b1. Next one. A particle is moving in the xy plane. The position vector at time t is this. The rate of change of theta at time t equal to 2 seconds. The rate of change of time theta at time t to 2 seconds. Rate of change of theta. Theta is what we can say is the angle the velocity vector makes with the positive x-axis. Okay, so first of all, if I do the velocity one, velocity will be differentiating it, I get 2i cap plus 4t j cap. So what happens, vx is fixed, but vy is constantly changing at any moment. Tan theta is what we say is vy by vx, that comes out as 2t. So the rate of change of theta, so we differentiate it with respect to theta, with respect to time, sorry. So tan theta integration will give me sec square theta d theta by dt, that is what is required, that would be equals to 2. So d theta by dt would be equals to 2 cos square theta, I can write here, because sec square theta is 1 upon cos square theta. So we needed this at 2 seconds. At 2 seconds, what I have, if I put it here, tan theta at 2 seconds would be equal to 4. So tan theta is 4, tan theta 4 means it is 4 is to 1, so this would be root of 17, so cos theta cos square theta would be 1 by 17, so it is 2 by 17. So what we can have, it is 2 by 17 radian per second. So it's a nice one. Next, telephone wire has a length 200 kilometer. Capacitance of this carries an AC of frequency 5 kilohertz. What should be the value of an inductor required to be connected so that impedance is minimum? That means XL should be equal to XC. So what is XC? Should be equal to XL. So 1 upon omega C is omega L. So L comes out as 1 upon omega square C. And what is omega square? 5 kilohertz. So 2 pi f. 2 pi into 5 into 10 to the power 3 whole square. And C is 0.014 micro into 10 to the power minus 6 per kilometer. So multiplied by 200 for total. So now what we are going to get? This is 4 pi square. This is 25 into 10 to the power 6. This is this 20 I can incorporate here, so 1.4 into 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 this goes. So what we are getting now, 24 into 4 is 100, 100 into 1.4 into 2, that is 2.8 pi square. And roughly the pi square is also, you take it as roughly as 10, so it would be 10 to the power minus 3 upon 2.8. So in the millihenry terms it would be 1 upon 2.8, and this would be approximately 100. You do 28 fours, I suppose, not 4, it would be 3. 28 threes we have as 84, and the remaining would be 160. So it would be 0.35 closest, I think, and make out slightly later, but approximately 0.35 millihenry. Next one. What is the radius of the imaginary concentric sphere that divides the electrostatic field of a metal sphere of radius 20 and charge into two regions of identical energy? Okay. Now this can be done by that electrostatic energy density method, or also by the capacitance logic. Now initially, if I take it as an isolated sphere, so this capacitance is 4 pi epsilon naught r, and we say the energy stored would be q square by 2c, let's say c naught. Now half of this energy, so let's assume this is an imaginary sphere, let's say with having a minus q charge, something like that. We have this is as r, and let's say this is as small r, let's say some r. So what we need, the energy should be half, charge will be same, so this should be E dash should be E by 2, and this is equal to q naught square by 2c. So if I compare it, q square by 4c naught is q square by 2c, that means c should be equal to twice of c naught. That is what I am getting. C should be equals to twice of c naught. Now for this spherical capacitor, C would be, what I can write, 4 pi epsilon naught rr, bigger minus a smaller one, bigger is small r, minus capital R equals to twice of c naught, which is 4 pi epsilon naught r. So this 4 pi epsilon naught r directly goes, so r would be equals to 2r minus r. So simply 2r minus 2r, sorry, do it properly. So this small r comes out as 2r. So small r is 2r, that is 40 centimeter. So this is one of the method. The second one method that you can do is, the total energy you can write would be from r to infinity, and what we write, half epsilon naught e square, e at any point would be kq by, let's say x, I can say qq by x square whole square into volume, if we take at x2 dx, 4 pi x square dx, that is the total energy. And you need that e by 2. E by 2 would be equal to, from r to r, half epsilon naught, again kq by x square whole square 4 pi x square dx, and equate them, you will get the result from that also. So both methods are fine. I've gone for this one. Next one. A potential energy, a particle, not potential energy, starts from the origin of coordinate at t equal to 0 and moves in the xy plane with a constant acceleration a along y. Its equation of motion is y is beta times x square. Its velocity component in the x direction will be, okay, so what we have, y is equal to beta x square. So it starts from the origin at t equal to 0, moves in the xy plane with constant acceleration a in the y direction. So acceleration a is in the y direction, you are directly given. So what we can have, first of all, dy by dt. I can say dy by dt would be equals to 2 beta x dx by dt, and again differentiating it, d2y by dt2, what I'll get, 2 beta x d2x by dt2 plus 2 beta dx by dt whole square. That is what we are going to get. And d2y by dt2, that is what we are given. d2y by dt2 we are given as a or alpha it seems. So this is alpha. So this alpha is equal to what we need to calculate velocity component in the x direction. And as per the logic, this d2x by dt2 will be 0 because acceleration is only along the along the y-axis. So it would be 2 beta, and this I can write it vx square. So vx comes out as alpha by 2 beta. So go for option D. Next one. How many times faster than the present speed would the earth have to rotate about its axis so that the apparent weight of the bodies on the equator becomes 0? So for the equator, the body to experience weightlessness, what we say, g at equator is g naught minus omega square r. So omega should become equal to root g naught by r. Okay, and the time period in this case comes out as 2 pi under root r by g naught, which is approximately 84 minutes, you remember. Now at present the time period t naught is 24 hours. If I convert it into minute, it is 24 into 60. So this is 6 4s are 24 to 1440 minutes. So now do this 84 to 1440 minutes. If you do this, definitely greater than 10 times. And if it is 5 and 9 is not possible. And 13, if I do 13 into 18 4, 13 4s are what we have 52, 13 8s are what we have 104, and 5 1092. So not 13. So it would be closest to 17 times. I can go for the option as per this data. Next. 5 gram of water at 30 and 5 gram of ice minus 20 are mixed together in calorimeter. Find the final temperature of the mixture. Okay, assuming water equivalent to be negligible, specific heats are given. So you have one at 30, one at minus 20. So this is 5 gram water at 30 degree. This is 5 gram ice at minus 20. First of all, see how much heat it needs to convert into 5 gram ice at 0. So requirement would be 5 into 0.5 into 20, that we can make out as 150 calories. And if I take it to be 0 degree, 5 gram water, so how much it can release? It can release 5 into specific heat 1 into 30, that is 150. So coming to 0, it can give 150, it can take 50. So if both come to 0, it has released 150, it has now taken 50, so 100 are excess. So that 100 to 5 melt the 5 gram ice, you need 5 into 80, 400 calories. That is not available now because temperature are same. So we have only excess 100. So it means partially ice will melt, but the final mixture would be ice plus water. Ice will be less than 5 gram, water would be more than 5 gram at 0 degree. So temperature here is going to be 0 degree. You can directly make out from this particular data. Next one. In the diagram, I1, I2 are the magnitude of current in the square loop and infinite loop straight conductor. The net field at the center of loop is 0. Okay. So due to this wire, I can see the field at center would be mu naught I2 upon 2 pi a plus a by 2. That is how you can write. Now, due to the square loop, first of all, let me check the directions because this is inwards. So that has to be outwards. So it would be like this. This would be I2 and this would be 4 times the individual arm. Individual arm will subtend an angle mu naught I1. Let's say if I can call it upon 4 pi r. 4 pi r would be a by 2 into cos 45 plus cos 45, that is 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2. That is what you will get. So mu naught, pi, we can cancel out. This is what we'll have now. I2 upon this 3a by 2, so this would be 3a. I2 by 3a is 4 times, and let's say this 4 and 4, let me cancel it. So that is 2i1 by a, and this would be 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2 would be root 2. So now what do you have? You have to take the value of I1. So I1 comes out as this goes. This would be I2 upon 6 root 2. That is what I am getting. This is given in the first option. So go for A. Next one. The front wall of a drawer in a cabinet is provided with 2 symmetrical handles. The distance between the handles is L and the length of the drawer is A. The maximum value of the coefficient of friction between drawer and cabinet for which drawer can be pulled out by applying a force on one handle perpendicular to the face of the drawer. Now this is not an easy question. I have to do the experiment myself. I have tried on a drawer, and now what I can make out, it's not that easy for me also. Let's say this is A and these are the 2 handles. Let these distance be D, and this be L, that is given. Let's say I apply the force here. So if I apply the force here, what I will see, because of the tendency to rotate like that, the normal from here, it will try to push it here, and this normal will act here. And because it was wanting to go out, the friction will act like this. And because of that same tendency, it will try to push, this corner will try to push it there. So the normal will be here, and the F is going to be acting like this particular thing in this regard also. The friction will be like this here also. Now, If I do this now, what I need to calculate, first of all, let it be x-axis, let it be y-axis, both are horizontal, so I've taken n to be same. So first, for force balance along F should be equals to 2F, or you can write it as 2 times mu, and this is my first equation. Now what we have now, if we balance the torque, let's say about any one of the corner, let's say about this corner, this would be easy because F and N will cancel up. So F and N cancels up. So now what we have, the torque of the, what you can say, whose torque are adding up, and this if you take this F, this is pulling it here. So if I take its line of action R cross F, it will put a torque like this, and this F is definitely going to be opposite, and this N will again be adding with this. So these two torques are adding up. So the torque of F would be F into D from this corner, and this normal torque would be N into A, and of this small f would be this whole length there, that is 2D plus L. Now F is 2FD plus NA, that is 2FD plus FL. So what you get it cancelled, and F is mu N. So what you have, mu N L N A. So mu comes out as A by L. So it's a not that easy question, and it's better if you can't think of it, leave that and think when the time left. 14C has a half-life of 5700 years. At the end of 11400, you can directly make out this is twice of that, 2t half, basically not 2 years, that is twice of t half. So it will remain 1/4 of the original amount. So that's very easy one for you. Next one, an ideal pendulum was oscillating with an angular amplitude pi by 3 inside a stationary elevator. When the pendulum was through the equilibrium position, the lift suddenly starts moving with acceleration a equal to g. Find the new angular amplitude of the oscillation. So what would be the new angular amplitude of the oscillation you need to determine? So because it is an ideal one you are given, so first of all, let me do what I can do now. Let's say see this, let's say now it goes till here. Definitely it will go some lesser height, let's say it would be theta dash. So first of all, what I will do, I'll simply take the whatever you can say, the work analogy or the energy analogy that we are taking. So from here to here, you can make out this velocity was root 2 gh, and that h was L, what we can say 1 minus cos theta. Now when it goes up, the effective acceleration due to gravity, because it is going upwards, the g effective become 2g. So g effective becomes 2g. So I can directly say the height will become what we can say, because what we have, h is v square by 2g, that will become half. So now the new height, what we can write as L 1 minus cos theta dash would be equal to half of L 1 minus cos theta. So what we have, 1 minus cos theta dash is 1 by 2 into 1 minus cos theta. Cos theta was pi by 3 is 1 by 2. So it is 1 minus 1 by 2, that is 1 by 4. So cos theta dash 1 minus this becomes this. So cos theta dash becomes 3 by 4. Theta dash becomes cos inverse 3 by 4. So it's a nice one. You have to be very careful while doing this. Next one. Electron is moving up on a circular path around a stationary neutron under gravitational attraction. Okay. Mass of neutron and electron are given. If Bohr's quantum condition holds, here the minimum permissible de Broglie wavelength associated. So here Bohr condition holds. Bohr condition is what we can say, Bohr simply conditions means MVR is NH by 2 pi. Now mix it over here. This is revolving around the neutron, this electron, because of gravitational attraction. So the force would be Gmm by r square is mv square by r. So from here what you can have, this mv square r is equal to Gmm. So what we have, what you need to know, the wavelength associated. First of all, V I can calculate, that is Gmm upon mvr. So that is nh by 2 pi. So what we have, this is no need to cancel it, sorry. So what we will have, Gmm upon nh, and this is multiplied by 2 pi. This is V. So the minimum possible lambda is what we can say is h upon mv. So lambda will be minimum when V is what we can say maximum. So maximum V will be when n equals to 1, because as increases V will decrease. So the maximum V is m. What we will have, Gmm into 2 pi upon h. So that is h square upon, now you can do this, whatever it is coming out, it is coming out as option B now. Next one. 32 gram of oxygen is contained in a cubical container of 1 meter maintained at a temperature 127. The isothermal bulk modulus of elasticity of the gas. So isothermal bulk modulus. So isothermal bulk modulus, you know, is equal to P. You have done it many times. We know bulk modulus is minus V dP by dV, and dP by dV for isothermal process is minus P by V. So bulk modulus is pressure. So simply you need to calculate the pressure, and pressure, what you say, is nRT by V. 32 grams of O2 means 1 moles. R means what we can write in SI unit is, if I write it in SI unit, or R only because it is written like this, T 127 means 400, volume is 1 cube, so what we have 400 R. So it's not that tough to calculate, and it's a very common thing. Bulk modulus for isothermal is P, for adiabatic is gamma P. Next one. Real image is formed by a convex lens. If we put a concave lens in contact with it, the combination again forms a real image, the new images. So what will happen now? For the new one, 1 upon F equivalent would be 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2. This is what we have positive, this is what we have positive, this was definitely negative. So definitely the overall magnitude of 1 by F will decrease, or you can say 1 by F will decrease, or you can say F will increase. So because the focal length will increase, so because of the focal length of the increment, now you can say it. Now here what we write 1 by V, what we have minus 1, and this would be minus U equals to 1 by F. I have written minus U because I have taken it as a magnitude U. So 1 by V is 1 by F plus 1 by U. So what you have, this term is same, and this 1 by F terms, you know, is decreased. So 1 by F term has decreased, this remains the same. So overall 1 by V is decreased, that means V will increase. So it will be farther from the lens system for sure. Next, a cylinder of mass M is kept on an inclined plane having an angle of inclination 30. Axis makes an angle 30 with the line along the greatest slope. Okay. Assuming that cylinder rolls without slipping, the acceleration of the cylinder is, so it is rolling without slipping. So what will happen here? So first of all, what I can make it out, the relation here would be, what we have, acceleration typically we write as mg sine theta by beta on the normal incline when it was placed like this. But here, because of this different orientation that we have, this component that would be effective along this will be not what we can write along this will be, because it is rolling, it will be rolling along this particular direction. So this is g sine theta here. So if I make it out, this angle would be this, because this angle was alpha, and these two, what we can say, it will make an angle, this would be 90 minus alpha for here, if you can go by geometry. So the component of g would be not g sine theta's cos of 90 minus alpha, that is g sine alpha. That is what you will have. So the effective acceleration now would be not acceleration was there, so it was not m, I was wrong, it should be g sine theta. Okay, so g sine theta into sine alpha, what I am getting, upon beta, and because it is a cylinder disk, so beta is 3 by 2, so it is g sine theta sine alpha upon 3 by 2. So both angles are 30, that is 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, so that is 2g by 3 into 1 by 4, so it comes out as g by 6. So it's a very interesting question, you should be careful about doing this. Next one, when PN junction is forward biased, okay, the depletion region is reduced, yes. Barrier height increased, no, barrier height is also decreased. Depletion region is widened, wrong. Depletion region and barrier height both are reduced, so go for option C. That's an easy theoretical question for you. Next one, what was the length of the steel, what should be the length of the steel and copper rod at 0 degree, so that the length of the steel rod is 5 centimeter longer than the copper rod at any temperature. That means L2 minus L1 should remain constant, or you can say delta L2 should be equals to delta L1. So alpha 1 L1 should be equals to alpha 2 L2 for same change, that is what you are required. So what should be the length of a steel and copper rod? Okay, so what we can have L1 upon L2, let's say steel upon copper, I can write that would be alpha of copper upon alpha of steel. So alpha of copper upon steel would be 17 by 11, so the ratio should be 17 by 11. So the ratio of steel to copper should be 17 by 11. So what we'll have, check it out, this is definitely not going to be there, this is definitely not going to be there. Now we are left with these two options. Now try this. If we take the simplest ratio, 1417 upon 917, so what will I have, this is if I take almost the and 9 it would be 11. So if I get it by something into 11, so let me check if it can be reduced as 17 by 11. Let me check. It is 1 point approximately 1.55 something thing will be there. Here it would be 1.917. You are left with what? You are left with 500. That means we 5. Yeah, so it is coming out to be closer. So I'll go for option A for this particular question that is being asked here. Next one. A fluid having a thermal coefficient of volume expansion gamma is filled in a cylindrical vessel up to height h0. Coefficient of linear thermal expansion is alpha. If the fluid is heated with vessel, then find the level of the liquid when the temperature increases by delta theta. So now what will be the level of the liquid? So first of all, the expansion in the liquid original was A into h0 into gamma delta T. This is actual expansion. The expansion in the material of the vessel, so the vessel will also expand, and the vessel will expand by the area is going to also expand. That will become what we can say A0 into 1 plus 2 alpha delta T. Okay, that is a new area now. This would be the new area that we'll have. So now what would be the height now? So what would be the real height now? So what we can say, this A0 h0 gamma delta T has to be fixed into that A into h delta h, what we can say. So the delta h, or the new height would be, or let's say it's better put it like this, the new height, let's say complete height be h. So A into h would be original volume, which was A0 h0 plus the expansion A0 h0 gamma delta T. So the height would be A0 h0 1 plus gamma delta T, and A is A0 1 plus 2 alpha delta T. So this A0 goes. So as per the data, the closest one that I am getting is option 1. Next what we have, the wavelength of two notes in the air are 35 by 196 and 36 by 193 meter. Each note produces 10 beats per second separately with a third note of fixed frequency. The velocity of sound in air is. Okay, so both makes 10 beats per second. What I can make out, this lambda is lesser, this lambda is greater, so this will be lesser frequency, this is greater frequency. So what we have now, this f1 I can write as v by lambda. So let's say the velocity be v, so v lambda means 195 by 36. This f2 would be v into 193 by 36, and now we have a difference with same frequency is fixed, is same 10. So with 10, that means their gap should be 20 for sure. So their gap is 20. So what we have, 195v minus 193v upon 36, that is equal to 20. So it comes out to be very straightforward. 2v is 36 into 20, so v comes out as 18 into 20. 20 into 18, what we have, 360 meter per second. So it is not a tough one, just to find out what it wants to say and solve it. Next, what we have, a Daniell cell is connected to a secondary circuit of a potentiometer. The balancing length is 540. If balancing becomes 500 when the cell is short circuit with 1 ohm, this is a standard internal resistance. What you will have, R is R, L open upon L closed, or L larger upon L smaller, you can remember like this. So this is 1, this is 540 by 500 minus 1, so this is 540, this is 40 by 500. So it is 40 by 500, this comes out as 4 by 50, that is, you can write it as 1 upon 12.5 ohms. So 1 upon 12.5 ohms, you can write it as 0.0, what you have 0.0, and then you will have still it won't come, that would be 0 12.5, that would be 8 times, so it is 0.08 ohms. You can go for it. Next one. Now see this. A sample of diatomic gas is in a container. Temperature was increased greatly so that some molecules fell into atoms, so they become mono. The pressure increased by a factor of 6 and the internal energy increased to a value of 4.4 times the original internal energy. By what factor did the temperature of the gas increase? So first of all, what we, let's say this was n moles, out of which let's say small l dissociated. So initial energy was n into 5r by 2 into T naught. Final energy would be n minus n into 5r by 2 T final plus 2n into 3r by 2, because they are mono now, T final. And this factor is given as 4.4 times of this. So this is my first equation that I can make out basically on the basis of internal energy. So 4.4 into 5r by 2 into n T naught would be equals to uh, I can take r by 2 common, and what we'll have n minus n into 5tf plus what we can have 6tf. Now this, so this rn2 goes, so this is 22n times t naught would be equals to what I can make out. This is 5n tf, and this would be small n tf. That is what I can make out. This is what I'm getting it here. Okay, so this is the first thing that I have got. So this is first equation. Now what about using that pressure factor? So what I can write, initially the pressure is P naught V naught, that was nRT naught. Finally the pressure BP, which you have directly given as what it is 6P. So directly write as 6P naught into volume as V naught. Now the moles would be n minus n plus 2n, that is n plus n RT final. So just divide it, what we'll get now, 6 would be equals to n plus nt final by nt naught. That is what I'm getting. Now using this value of nt naught here, I can write nt naught as let's say 22 times n plus nt final by 6. That is 5 nt final plus nt final. So t final goes. Okay, so now what we have, 22n plus 22 times small n, that is 30n plus 6n. That is I'm getting. So what I'm getting here, 22 and 6, if I take it, it comes out as 22, 6, 16, and is here coming out as 30 minus 22, that is coming out as 8n. So this small n is equal to n by 2. So small n is n by 2, that means half of the moles has dissociated. Now you can do for what we were checking for, we were checking for the temperature. So for the temperature, here from here only you can make out T final would be 6 into nt naught upon n plus n, that becomes 3n by 2. So this n goes, and this becomes 12 by 3, that is 4t naught. So it's a good one. You need to be slightly careful while doing this. Next one. Now the last three questions we are, two particles located at points 0, 10 root 3, 0, 0 in the xy plane start moving simultaneously with velocities this and this. The time when they are closest to each other is found to be k by 2 seconds. So first let me check. One is at 0, 0 and it is moving like this. Okay, the second one is at 0, 10 root 3, so it is somewhere here, and it goes like this. So they start moving simultaneously with constant time when they are closest to each other. Okay, so they are closest to each other. I think as they move, the gap is definitely going to increase. There is nothing, they are closest to each other, 0, 10 root 3. There's some issue in the question, because what I can make it out, it's let me check. This is I cap is also given, so there is issue. In this particular case, I can say the gap will increase, so this is minimum at 0, so as present answer is 0. And if I see their solution, there is some j cap and the coordinates are also different. So do by that. The basic concept is, let's say whenever we have two objects moving like that, so make sure see one with respect to other. Let's say this is the first one, and let's say this be the second one, and let's say its velocity comes out like this. So the minimum separation will be when this relative velocity will be perpendicular to the line joining them, or this perpendicular conditions holds. So you can do this by that logic. At present the question has an error, so I'm not going to take it in further because the data is corrupted. Unpolarized light of intensity 32 watt per meter square passes through three polarizers such that transmission axis of the first and light are right angles. If the intensity is 3, then what is the angle between the transmission axis? So what we see from the first one, half will be become, that is 16, and let's say this is the first, this is the third one is like this 90 degrees. So let's say second one be like that, theta with this and 90 minus theta with this. So after first it is 16, 32 becomes 16 because unpolarized. Now it would be 16 cos square theta, and after this would be 16 cos square theta into cos square 90 minus theta. So what I can write, 16 cos square theta sin square theta, and that comes out as 3. So what we have, we typically keep it as 4 cos square theta sin square theta equals 3 by 4, and this is 2 cos theta sin theta whole square, that becomes sin square 2 theta becomes 3 by 4. So sin of 2 theta becomes root of 3 by 2. So sin 2 theta is root 3 by 2, that means 2 theta is what we can say is 60 degree, or you can have it as 120 degree, so that theta will becomes 30 degree, or you can have at 60 degree. So it could be theta, it's 30 or 60. So you can say it could be, the answer could be 30, answer could be 60. So again, it's not correctly asked. It should be the minimum they have used. No, they have not used. Next one. A block of mass 2 kg is kept at origin at t equal to 0, okay, and having a velocity 4 root 5 in the positive x direction. The only force on the conservative and its potential energy is this velocity when the force acting on it is minimum. So force minimum, so force will be minimum. So let me check the force expression. It comes out as minus 3x square minus du by dx. So plus 3x square, sorry, minus 12x. So going by this expression 3x square minus 12x, it will be minimum when df by dx is 0. So when df by dx is 0, so df by dx 0 means that is 6x minus 12 is equal to 0. So it would be 0 when x is equal to 2. It is a minimum at x equal to 2. So at x equal to 2, if I do at x equal to 2, okay, and it is kept at origin at t equal to 0 and having a velocity in the positive x direction, only force in the potential energy, its energy would be. So first of all, u at x equal to 0, let me calculate. That was 15. Kinetic energy at x equal to 0, you have already calculated, given half into 2 into 4 root 5 whole square, that is 80. So this is 80 joules, that means the total energy is 95. Now at x equal to 2, the potential energy would be minus 8 plus 6 4s are 24 plus 15, that is 31 joule. So kinetic energy I can make out k plus 31 would be equals to 95. So k comes out as 95 minus 31, 64 joules. So half mv square is 64. So v square is 64 into 2 by 2. So that means v is 8 meter per second for sure. So this was today's paper. Thanks for watching. Keep sharing the channel.